What's going on, guys? Kill the Dev 00. Let's go. Bringing you another one here today. So you want to go into web development. Awesome. You're here. You're already in. You've already was watching these videos and things. So how do I get started again? Question I've always asked is, man, like, how did you get into it? How did you start web development? I just jumped in. I started coding right away. I just jumped in. The first thing I did was I actually got into Google Chrome. I jumped in and I went and I did right click, inspect. For the ones who you've done it at some point in your life, you played around and did that in Chrome. It obviously pulled up the dev tools. So you go there, you see the console on the right. I just started playing around doing some JavaScript stuff. Then as I kept playing with it, I'm like, oh man, this thing's pretty cool. I figured I had a little like a on hand calculator on the side of my screen. That's awesome, right? So that's where I started. After that, I got a little serious, started playing with some HTML. I got with HTML, learned how to use a text editor. The very first text editor I used was Notepad. It wasn't even Notepad++, it was Notepad. And then I saw that I could just save it as a .html and voila, it pops up on the browser. So pretty cool stuff. So you couldn't tell me anything. I didn't know anything about the latest and greatest. At that time, VS Code wasn't in the mix. We had Sublime Text 3. That was my absolute favorite one. And then we had Atom. Atom is about like, it was a strain of trying to do what VS Code does right now so well that no one can even touch them on. So I got into that. I started doing simple stuff, making a static page, putting some text on there, playing around, learning different HTML tags. After I learned the tags and stuff, you got to style it. So then I went into CSS. So it really just took me just playing around and building my own little playground. And go to the GOAT of all sources, hands down, everyone already knows at this point, is W3 Schools. W3 Schools was my go-to, and I still use it till this day. So I go there for basic fundamentals. I mean, I got to the point now, if you know what's going on, you can just, copy and paste a snippet of code, but that's for another time. But while you're learning, go in there, you can even use their platform and do it like right on the spot. So you don't even have to have Notepad, Notepad++, or even VS Code and all those things, which I'll say that for another video, a list of a ton of web browser text editors ready to go out the box for you. You can have fun without having to do all these slow installs or all this extra moving and stuff. It's all a one-stop shop. So I'm gonna say that for another video. But also, with that being said, that's when you want to go ahead and take light to some tutorials. I had an awesome video I watched way back. I'm not sure the gentleman even do videos anymore, but he had a very in-depth knowledge of HTML. It was very deep, and CSS the same way. So I dove right into his CSS tutorials right after that, and it was so deep. It was a good. I had got a good, solid, clear understanding of HTML and CSS. So I was like, whoa. So what's the next move? JavaScript. I went back to it because I was playing around with it, not understanding its true purpose. So by the time I got back to it, I'm like, wow, this all makes sense now. It's literally the brains of the operation. So I get to really do some stuff now. Now I get to kind of notice and do interactions now. So now we've put some code together. We see it. Now it looks great. We styled it. And now we get to move some stuff. We get to have where you click and then get a response. So this is that user experience. This is that interaction that you want to have when designing websites and just doing things, web applications for that matter. So I thought that was pretty neat. I did that, and slowly but surely I started really piecing some things together. You can start going to websites and really start seeing how things work, how things click. It was really crazy. It was a very nostalgic experience. So after that, I went back into more tutorials. I started honing in, because this is how it works. You'll go in, you're going to start learning some things, exposing yourself to things, using sources like W3 School, JavaScript. What's the name of that site? I can't think of it right now, man. I'm pretty sure down here in the description below, but you can go to a main site for JavaScript documentations. There's so many different things. So when you get that foundation, now you can build yourself a static site. You know, you don't need any leverage of all the trends, React, Vue, Angular. You don't need any of that stuff. You don't need, because this is all of what this was before that. So you got the foundation right. Now we play around other stuff. This is where I started to level up. You want to slowly start to level up after that. Now this is where you go to. I went to Jquery. Now Jquery is, that's a thing of the past. You really don't need it anymore. So it will be as you get further down the line and want to kind of step back a little bit, nice to know, you know, but you don't really need it anymore. There could be some teams out there still using it. I don't know. But anyway, after that, I went into SAS. Went into SAS. I'm going to get a more modular way and a cooler way to style my work and, you know, produce, templates that are well structured on that professional level, you know. So I went into SAS. That was freaking amazing. So totally would recommend you doing that next. After that, obviously Bootstrap. I mean, who has not done Bootstrap? Bootstrap is definitely one of them. And then that's when I kind of tampered around in other frameworks, CSS frameworks, and animations too. So I did some of those too. Big one now is Framer. So, and again, these are just some things you can do later on down the line, but how to get started, that's how you get started. You get in, you dive in, make your own project, make a personal project, do a simple static page about you, what you like to do, what you want to do with code. Make it your online journal, if you will. And that'll be a very fun way to keep yourself vested in the process. And as you learn and stuff and want to expand your mind a little bit, spoon feed it to yourself. Spoon feed yourself some specific tutorials. Again, I'm going to have a video on that too. Some of my top tutorials from everything that I've learned, because I know more than just coding. I know video editing. I know graphic designing, Photoshop. I mean, Illustrator. I winged it on Illustrator on my own. And there's just so many other things that I do. Digital marketing mindset, because I'm running my own business. So sign up and have a nice video on pointing you in that direction to get you going in any of those different categories. But to get started is to dive in, make it happen, and just start with a notepad plus if you want to, or one of the online based ones. I'm actually going to have those. I'm going to have a video for it too, but I'm going to go ahead and mention it down in the description below. So you'll have those. Follow any of those links. They're amazing platforms. I'll give you some more understanding of how those things are on another video. But that's the name of the game, is just get started. That's how you get started. Just get started. Jump in, do the thing. Anyway, that's all I have, guys. Dev 00 wanted to drop one for you, how to get started. It's just to simply do. So I'm hoping you take it and you run with it. Find you a platform, gather your resources, start at W3 schools if you want to, and learn the basics, man. HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. You get those, you go a long, long ways. Trust me on that one. All right, Dev 00, let's go. I'm out. All right, I really didn't see the point in really throwing this into another video now that I thought about it. These are some of the ones I got started with. Now, I would honestly say there's easily about another 5 or so that are probably better than these now. I don't think anything is personally better than W3 schools. That's my absolute favorite one, but this is quick. Like, look how quick this is. We're already in. You don't waste any time. Once you go straight to the main link of the site, the main URL, it puts you right here. It gets you started with what you need to get started with exactly. HTML, CSS. They threw some Bootstrap in there. Look at this. And then they have their own form of CSS if you want to use theirs. And icons, colors, graphics, SAS. It's all here. JavaScript, Jquery. This is where you can start leveling up to the more advanced features. JavaScript libraries. So that's when React and all those can come into play. So that's W3 schools in a nutshell. You come here. You can go here, man. Boom, hop in. Made a little playground. It's already on deck. You can come in and start playing. Here, I go in. I sit there. Hit the run button. Boom, it's green. So I'm already playing with CSS already, because they have the style text up here. So I'm playing with CSS already, and then I can come down here and start changing some text. Hello world. That's what everybody does when they just start learning code, it seems like. Hit the run button. Boom, here we go. So we're already playing. We're not wasting any time. It's crazy. W3 schools. Check it out. Next one, Code Sandbox. This is one of my favorite ones too. I want to say this one's probably definitely this is the GOAT right now. I mean, I'm already logged in right here. I already have my GitHub link to it, which by the way, you totally want to be on GitHub here later on down the line. Again, that's further in your coding journey, but yes, right here, one-stop shop. This is where you can make it happen with React. If you're a Windows user like me, our stuff rolls a little slow, man. So, you know, it's good to come over here and not have to go through all the labors of using NPM installs and stuff. But you want to know those things, obviously. But sometimes we just want to kind of come in and play and get familiar with stuff. This is what you want to do. So React, vanilla JavaScript, Vue, Angular, HTML5. That's where we would go. Boom. This is my playground. This is where you want to start. Don't get caught up in the hype of React and all these JavaScript frameworks. You can't enjoy them if you have no idea how HTML, CSS, and vanilla JavaScript works. Vanilla JavaScript, for the ones who don't know, is simply basic, standard, generic JavaScript. It's just simple JavaScript functions, like a button click, doing some simple fundamentals like a variable. Anyway, just learning those basics of how JavaScript just works in general. That's vanilla JavaScript. Anyway, here's our playground here. It doesn't waste any time right now. It has you a .html file, package JSON, and the sandbox their own configurations. But again, you don't need any of that. All you need is the first part. So again, we're between some H1 tags. What you think I'm gonna put? Hello world. Duh. Who doesn't? So hello world. Hit your save there. And then sometimes this stuff refresh on its own. See? So hello world. Boom, here we go. We're off to the races. There you go. It's a static template ready for you at your disposal. Next up, Jsfiddle. So this is where it all goes down. Now the thing with Jsfiddle is, as you can see, it works all the same, but you know, you're not really starting with anything, some different syntaxes you want to kind of start with. You don't have it. It doesn't start you up like that. But all in all, here you go though. You ready to rock and roll. So it's all about familiarizing yourself with some HTML tags and things, and you can get that from W3 schools. So this is just another fun spot to come over here and just play once you want to start practicing what you've already learned. You know, it's a good spot to come dump out and digest and sign in, set up these accounts. These are all online browser based, and you know, it doesn't matter which device you're using. You can start coding right away. You don't have to have an expensive Mac Air or whatever, these MacBook Pro. You don't have to have all this state-of-the-art equipment, man, to start coding. It's not that serious. Replit Ed. This was one of my go-tos when I was teaching middle school programming. This was absolutely the go-to. It was so fun. So I went here, and it's gonna make me sign in. Looks like I totally just wanted to go here, show you guys the layout. Let's see if I can probably have it snag it again. Boom, we're in there. Here we go. So I want to go to HTML. So we keep life simple. Go here, scroll down, or you can always just type it in. HTML, CSS, JavaScript. I just wanted to show you guys. Here we go. And now we're up and running here. Again, this is that syntax I told you about, the important stuff that helps the internet, the browser understand what you are writing. It's all here. So again, we're doing one again. Let's do we're gonna use some H1 tags here. Why not? Let's do it. This was the fun stuff. This one code was darn easy. You know, as you get further along this thing, man, it's fun, but man, it's a headache. So again, hello world. Here we go again, rocking and rolling. Very simple stuff. Again, you come in, you play with it. Take your time. It's not a race. You get here, you can do some styling. It already has your CSS file. That's for the styling. There's your JavaScript file for JavaScript functions. If you want to see a little bit of how it does, sure, let's stick around and make that happen real quick. Let's do something with H1s, man. We'll do the obvious simple stuff. Red. Make it red. Run it. Boom, it's red. As that wraps it up, I showed you a little bit of how to get started. It's pretty simple. Just dive in and get started. So you got the tools now. Go make it happen. All right, guys, don't forget to subscribe. Hit that thumbs up, too. Have the algorithm start pushing me in that right direction. All right, till next time, Care to Dev. I'm out.